Hello, my name is Adam Stonebreaker, and I'm with Sacred Mountain Sangha and with PAEAN, which is the People's Alliance for Earth Action Now. And today we are talking with Linda Lamson with Yoga for Climate Action. And it's such a pleasure to have you with us. And I thought we'd just start off with you just telling us who you are, how you got into this work, your yoga
Sure.
teaching, things like that.
Thank you so much, Adam. And it's
Yeah.
been so inspirational to be a part of this movement, actually, through Sacred Mountain Sangha. And yeah, I am a Vajrayana practitioner. I've been practicing for 25 years and a yoga teacher as well. I did my training in the Bay Area and I really have always wanted to serve. In all honesty, I was a Peace Corps volunteer in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and a physical therapist, professor by training.
Hmm.
And I took my Bodhisattva vows 6 years ago. And that everything shifted really for me when that happened, because I really I took it like really to heart. Like what can I do? How can I help? How can I serve? And it's at that time that my teacher asked me to start teaching, and I hold space for a sangha here in the East Bay,
Hmm.
and have been teaching or offering meditation classes at yoga studios. Again, for about the past 5, 6 years.
Hmm.
But when it came to climate action, I was really stumped. I was feeling like I didn't know what I personally could do. And it felt all overwhelming to me. And so I figured, what can I do? I can like approach my students and I can ask them, would they be interested in coming to a 100% donation based class? And we together as a collective can figure out which organizations to donate to, and they will offer whatever they can. And I will, my Dana, my offering will be to teach the class. And my students just loved it. They loved the idea. And as I shared it with other um, fellow practitioners, teachers in particular, they asked, like, well, I want to do it. Like, how can I do it? Like, just send me the stuff. That is essentially what they said. Like, so I said, okay, let's see how to do this. So I created a website, and on the website, it's pretty clear. There's a section for teachers, for students, and then for those people who are just interested. And I've had family members really wanting to participate and donate to climate action organizations through on behalf of Yoga for Climate Action. And so yeah, so the idea has been launched, and so I'm really inviting not only teachers but students to get involved. So if there are yoga students who would like their teachers to offer a class similar to this, whether it's 100% donation or whether it's, 10% of their proceeds, depending on the studio management, they can approach their teacher by sending the teacher the website link. And then if a teacher's interested, I've created materials for them so they're not recreating the wheel. So literally how to do it, and even a sample letter that they could send to their students so they don't have to create that. And so my vision, and I'm just putting it out there, is to dream into this idea that there are going to be yoga classes on behalf of Yoga for Climate Action uh, all over the place. Why not? You know? So, yeah, so there you have it.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Yeah, I'm curious as to, if people do start having yoga for climate action classes and the donations come in, Are the donations toward Yoga for Climate Action, and then you decide what causes to put the money towards, or does the class decide? How does that whole
Yeah.
process work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just to make it simple, to get teachers involved, I've decided that like for this first year, so we all get going with it, that every quarter there will be a new climate action organization. So
Mm,
for instance, this quarter it's 350.org, and my students and I came up with that one. And however, being a collective, it would be terrific if teachers, had recommendations for the next quarter or the third quarter, so that we can work together and have a communal voice, right? Rather than, oh, who am I going to? I feel like part of the problem with donating is like, well, who do you donate to? And
mm,
so, if we can work together as practitioners and come up with those organizations, then we can, put, the money in their hands, and hopefully they can really affect change,
mm,
positive change. And so, yeah, so this, like I said, this time around, it's 350.org. And I've been working with that organization. The bigger organizations are a little easier to work with because they make it very easy to donate on behalf of Yoga for Climate Action so that we can track how much we've raised. And so, again, each teacher will do it a little differently. And on that welcome letter, I've included all the permutations on how to go about it.
mm,
But then already we're talking about, my class is talking about another organization for the next quarter that they've done research on and are really interested in. And if there are even local organizations, because that was an idea, it's like, oh, well, I have a local organization. It's not a big organization, it doesn't get a lot of money. But if we can work with that particular organization and have them have a way to track it,
mm.
then we can feel that we're really working together as a sangha to create change, instead of, this studio is donating $100 to this organization, and it's all fractured. If any organization can track the donation, then we can really, I think we can make a difference.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. It's one of the visions that we have with PAEAN too, is to have definitely a local input or a local action while gathering collectively as well. Having some organizations that are that the community as a whole supports, but then also encouraging local action, local donations, local involvement. So that's,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's really beautiful.
And it was so beautiful that I started doing this in December, and and having become involved with this new community of Sacred Mountain Sangha, just so thrilled that PAEAN was just getting started, and that's why I thought, wow, this is really perfect timing.
Hmm. Yeah, so what does a yoga for climate action class, what does it look like? Is there any particular template that you'd like, or yeah, just any details with that, or is it just up to
Yeah,
the teacher or whatever?
yeah, I believe it's really up to the teacher. I know that students love to take yoga classes from their beloved teachers,
Mm,
right? And whether it's a yin class or a restorative class, or a alignment based class, that's, we gravitate to those teachers that we just love and want, to study with. And so if I believe it should be in the hands of the teacher, if they wanted whatever class they're used to teaching, if they would like to give part of the proceeds to climate action, or just do a 100% donation based class. And
mm,
what I found is that when students, and this is included in the welcome letter, but when students get to decide how much to offer, they're so thrilled to have an avenue in which to offer. And so they're like, I get a free yoga class and I'm going to give $50 to this, or, on behalf of this. And, and it's been so rewarding, I think, for both my students and myself to feel like there's a way that we can work together. And so for me, I am offering 2 classes a month that
Hmm.
are that are 100% donation based, and I teach Iyengar inspired yoga, and so those are my classes. But I really think it would be terrific to have, and it's ready to go on the website. It just hasn't been launched yet, but a page that says who's involved, and so to have on that page, and again, this is in the welcome letter, the information of, for instance, Adam, if you were to offer a class, your contact information would be there, your picture
Hmm.
would be there. And so students could go to the website, see who's offering a class, and take from various teachers who are all working together for this cause.
Hmm.
That's the vision that there's, and that page is ready to launch. It's just waiting for teachers.
So just like a collective collection of teachers around the world who are doing this work with their schedules and websites and things like that.
Exactly, with all
Yeah.
of their contact information and their pictures, so that we can see who, and if you're in an area, like if I were, wanting to take a class from you, even, right? I could say, oh, there, Adam is offering a class. I'm gonna, reach out to him, and I'll jump into one of his classes. Some
Hmm.
teachers have a really small following, and they'll want to keep it that way, or if they have a larger studio and hundreds of students around the world, then they might draw students in by having the students being able to see that they are a part of this collective.
Yeah, great. Is there any other sort of community support that you envision? Maybe like a gathering of teachers, or some kind of regular communication or joint efforts, things like that.
Well, I love the fact that PAEAN actually wants to, is considering promoting this, because I feel like, to keep it really simple for the teachers, it's just you offer a class, and this is the mechanism in which to donate. However, it would be terrific to have, again, in that who's involved page, links to resources, right?
Hmm.
So that it doesn't become, the website doesn't become like a wealth of information in terms of specific articles, etc., but that there are links to the organizations like PAEAN who are providing that.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and every teacher can do it, really, and that's why like this idea of a collective. Everyone teaches differently, has a different relationship with their
Hmm.
students, and I had a recommendation from one of my students to have a representative from a climate action organization come in and do a 15-minute talk at the beginning of class.
Hmm.
And so, some students just want to do yoga. They just want to get their practice in.
Hmm.
But so I just feel like there's a lot of flexibility with how this actually can um, meet the needs of both teachers and students.
Yeah, so it's not, the teacher's not preaching about climate action. It could, or maybe they are, maybe they bring in a speaker or something. It could be as simple as having some literature or just having the name of the organization on the advertisement or something like that.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
yeah, so when I'm teaching, we just jump right into anatomy. We
Hmm.
don't do a lot in the way of talking about climate change. Having said that, at the end of class, when we're saying goodbye, sometimes we'll talk about, hey, I just saw this great clip, or and we'll just share that information just amongst ourselves. But to keep it just really personal, I think is important, so that teachers feel welcome, that they can do this. This is something they can do. Because I was so intimidated when I was trying to figure out how I could be of service in this arena. And so I figured keep it simple. And
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, how we can all use our unique gifts, so even anatomy knowledge can be in the service of a greater goal, or a completely seemingly unrelated goal. Or whatever your gift is, it can go towards something that's much greater, much bigger, more collective, and more beneficial for our planet and one another. Yeah, it's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, if people want to get involved, what's the website, and what would they do, and what's the process for that?
So the website is, it's long, but it's really straightforward, yogaforclimateaction.com.
Hmm.
That's it. And then once they're there, it will absolutely, it's very clear on what to do if you're a teacher, what to do if you're a student, and what to do if you're just would like to make a donation on behalf of Yoga for Climate Action. And there's information about this quarter. We're donating to 350.org, as I mentioned. So there's information on that organization. And yeah, that's it. If a teacher is interested, they just fill out the contact information and send it my way, and I'll respond with the welcome letter, and a letter that they could send to their students. Yeah, and the website is pretty clear on how what to fill out, because every organization's a little tricky with where do you put what, and if you don't want to get the information and get a lot of information from the organization, there's ways to around that, and I've included that in the welcome letter. Yeah.
Sounds very, very thorough. You've done your homework.
Well, I just wanted to make it accessible,
Hmm.
right? Because that was where I was stumbling. Was I don't know how to, do this, and so I figured make it really crystal clear. And obviously, my contact information is there. So if it's not, I'm available to answer any questions.
Hmm. And you said that even maybe you don't like yoga and you don't want to do yoga, you can come to the website and just donate to the cause. Yes?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Which it's amazing how much money we can raise just by bringing attention to our family members and friends that as yoga practitioners, this is something that we believe in. We
Hmm.
believe in getting involved with climate action. And so it's a part of what we're doing here as yoga practitioners, isn't it? And so, yeah, I've had a lot of friends just say, well, I want to donate. I think what you're doing is pretty cool. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, that's great. I think that's a really, really wonderful message to close on. Yeah, I appreciate your work. I appreciate what you're doing, and immediately when we saw it as a PAEAN leadership, we immediately wanted to support this. So,
Well, I think Kitty Sarah and Tanisra have just been so inspirational. And, I just really felt, after going to a few meetings, PAEAN meetings, I just felt so inspired to get that website done.
mm,
So, yeah.
that's great.
And to work together, right? To work together as a song, as a community.
Yeah.
Yeah, to affect change. Yeah.
I think that's so important, in the Dharma, it's the Buddha the Dharma and the Sangha, and sometimes that Sangha part is left out. So yeah, coming together as much as we can just adds more potency to our work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it, and yeah, we will get on this, spreading the word. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm.